Hello everyone! Today we're gonna have a very exciting topic that we cannot wait to share with you and start talking about. So what are we talking about today? In today's video we're gonna share with you why we bought our property, our investment property. How much did it cost? Our profit or loss. So stay tuned to find out, did we make money, did we lose money?
We don't know. We don't know yet.
We'll get there. Why did we sell it instead of renting it out? Because we did rent it out for the beginning. Why didn't we keep it? And the difficulties through this journey, through all the buying process, selling process, keeping it, maintaining it. So all of this coming right now.
So, for everyone that don't know us, that are new here, we are Kate and Val, the chocolate and vanilla. Well, he's stunning. He's in the process to get into the chocolate flavor.
I'm trying. It's not an easy task.
And we help multicultural families to get control of their money so they can build their dreams, all these wild dreams, and make them come true.
Yes. That's what
So let's start. Let's start with the first thing, the purchase. We will tell you the whole story, the whole thing, how this happened. So let's start it.
Yeah. So, how did we buy this beautiful property? Well, now that's gonna be an interesting one. Just a quick recap. We used to live in Chile for about a year and a little bit. We were going on our way back to Canada. We stopped at our friend's house on the way to a different city that we were flying. He was living close to Toronto. We were going to Calgary. But we haven't seen our friends for over a year. And we were like, hey, we're gonna stay for a week. We're gonna enjoy. We're gonna tell all our interesting stories. So we stopped in Kitchener, Ontario with our friends for a week. And before we were moving, we already were planning to buy an apartment in Calgary. We knew the prices, we knew what we were looking for, ready to go and buy, pretty much, and start our life there. So my friend said, hey, why don't you buy here an apartment? And I'm like, well, if you're gonna find a place that's gonna be cheaper than what I'm looking right now, I'll definitely consider it. So we went for a ride. Just for the hell of it, we saw some open houses that they have, when they build in a brand new apartments, you have the office, they show you the layouts and all the fun stuff. So there was a very appealing condo for sale, which was for $225,000. And because we already were familiar with the market and we kind of knew that in this area, the markets usually every year you can make 3 to 7%. Property will be increasing. Plus, with the time you can increase the rent a little bit. So the price seemed very appealing. It was 1,000 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 washroom. And I was like, wow, 225. It's pretty cheap for this area. But we just came back.
Yeah.
We don't have jobs. We don't have anything. So I came home and I was like, babe,
At
this
that
property.
At that time, Val went with our friend, just both of them, for a ride, for a drive around the city and show how the city is, how it's developing. And I had to stay with our daughter because we didn't babysit because we love to go around. I don't know, it's part of our DNA that we love to go around and look at houses. Just look. How are the prices?
It's a lot of fun.
But at that time, I stay with my daughter at home with my other friend. And when he came back, he said, oh, it's such a good opportunity. This is such a good price. You will never see it again. And we knew the market. It's part of our hobby to just check at markets. And I was there laying down next to my daughter. And I said, well, I know.
Let's buy it.
Let's buy it. And he's like, yeah, but we don't have job. We just came from Chile. We don't have nothing. I said, well, we have the down payment. And he said, yeah, but we need a mortgage. And I told him, yeah, but I remember our other friend bought a house like they built the house, and they just needed the down payment at the beginning, and they had like until they develop it, then they can get the mortgage. I know now it's a little bit different because people are having a little bit of troubles because they put the down payment and then they...
By the time they finish building, suddenly they cannot get the mortgage anymore. So
now
they changed the laws a little bit.
Now you had to be pre-approved, but at that time you didn't. So he said, well, I will go check tomorrow. So he took his checkbook and he went.
Yeah, so we come in next day with my friend, and these condos flying pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of getting okay, and there's like sales people putting pressure on you. They saying this is amazing, and I'm like, yeah, take it easy. We just need to figure out a few things before we jump all in there. So I'm like, I don't have a job. I don't have a phone. Because she asking, okay, can you give me a phone number? I'm like, no, not yet. We don't have one. She's like, okay, so do you have an address? I'm like, no, we just come and we're looking to buy something and get our new address. She's like, what do you have? Do you have a checkbook? I'm like, yeah, I brought it with me. I have my passport and my checkbook. She's like, fine, just make these checks and we're good. So I was like, that was easy. So we decided to go ahead with this. And again, we've been there for a week.
Yeah.
Just that's how fast things can happen. And what we say that you need to know at least a little bit what's going on.
Yeah.
Because if you're not prepared, if you don't know, for somebody else, he would say, I don't know, 225,000 seems a lot of money. No, thank you.
No for us.
Yeah. So yeah, we just went for it. So
we didn't know how we will buy it, but we knew it was a good investment. So our way of thinking is to say, we don't know how, but we will figure it out. So that's our point of view. If we can get now to the down payment, okay, we will figure it out. The money will come somehow because we know this is a good opportunity. And that's how we roll. That's how we do things.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, the first struggle point is like, well, we don't have the money, or we don't have, in our case, it was jobs, we don't have this, let's skip this. But when you commit to something like this, you'll find a way.
You'll find it.
You'll get it. So instead of say, hey, you know what, and find 100 excuses, if you think there's a good deal and you did your calculations, and again, there's anything can happen, like this coronavirus that happened. Nobody knew about it. It happened, but other than this, you can make well thought out calculation and you can see, is it good? Is it bad? So that's what we did, and we went for it.
And wasn't an easy process. Was difficult because from the day we put our down payment, we were like looking for jobs, applying for things, like trying to build our life. That we were not in Canada for more than a year. We came back, we came to a different city, we didn't know anybody, no connections, and we had to have these jobs, like this security, the stability that we don't have usually. We had to show the banks that we are stable. So we were so in the rush to get a job, whatever it is. So we got jobs.
Yeah. The reason why we were in a rush, because our closing date, they said it's 6 months. Mm-hmm. So you have to get a job, you have to work there at least 3 months before you can be asking a mortgage, because they want to see, okay, you're staying at this job, you're not just jumping from place to place, don't know what's going on with you. So yeah, we found jobs, we start working, definitely not the jobs that we were looking for. In Chile, we were working, both of us, at the same company as business analysts. Yes. And when we moved, and again, we stopped at Kitchener, we bought the condo, and we flew to Calgary, where we were planning to start living. Yeah, so we're in Calgary, we rented a place. So I found a job first, and it was a recycling driver. So I had to go, I had to pick up recycling, take in.
That's the fancy word of garbage man.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, every job respects itself. I always say I prefer you working than just, you know, you're all healthy and stuff and you just going and asking for government's help.
Yeah.
So it's a respectful job as long as you go and you do it. But I really hated it. I had to wear orange coverall, orange everything. You're like the brightest man in the room, and you're going around these offices that I used to be sitting like this, sipping on my coffee, doing some work.
Looking important.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing most of the time. And yeah, now I had to be collecting garbage in these offices, picking the recycling, putting bags, or driving in apartment building houses. So pretty dirty, not a very fun job. But hey, we all have to do something. We all have to go through some sort of sacrifices to reach our goal. So at that point of time, I was making a salary. I was making about 2,800 a month. And we knew this is not enough
Yeah.
to get a mortgage because it would be our mortgage number 3. So we had to show a little bit more income. We had to we put the down payment with our deposits first for the apartment. And then we like, hey, we need another job. So Kate found a job. And
Yes. Was how you say, per hour. So was not a salary. So sometimes I was making 1,900, sometimes 2,000. So
2000.
$2,000. $2,000, 1,900, and I was like this. Oh, is this penny enough? Is this penny enough? Not because we didn't have money, because we had money saved, but you had to show the banks that you're stable, and that's how we had to show stability with the job that we are committed to. So then we are not risky to the banks. So that was the whole thing. We had the money, but we had to show that we were workers. So
Yeah.
and was a painful thing because they continue postponing
The closing,
The closing date.
Yeah, we've been having, okay, so 3 months pass, and in 3 months, we're supposed to have the closing. We already have our jobs. We're like, okay, we're ready. We're a little bit nervous because we found kind of jobs. Kate found job kind of at the last moment, and we like barely reaching this 3 months of probation that the banks want to see. And they sending us an email. Oh, we postponed in the closing day for 3 months. And we're like, no,
and
don't say that.
I didn't want to work anymore.
That was our plan. That our girl, she was very young at the time. She was about 2 years, almost 2 years old. So our plan was that she gonna be staying with her at home.
Yeah.
And they kept postponing the closing date. They postponed like about 3 times, and every time, and it reached to a year
It was
from the
so
time they were
painful.
supposed to
It was so painful
finish it.
just to wait for them to just give us the damn
Yeah.
house. But it was a good process. It was a learning process. The thing is that when you don't have anybody around to help you, it's even harder. For all the immigrants out there that don't have families around, it's very hard when you both have to work, you both have to do duties, responsibilities, and need to be parenting, and everything is just we were getting a little bit stressed out because again we had the money, but we need to show that we were working, so we couldn't quit. So the day we got the house, I quit the same day. And Val continued working for a little bit, and then he went with his business. He opened a business, so we had the freedom to continue doing what we want.
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy towards the end because we're supposed to receive the mortgage and I have this business opportunity that I want to jump on. But
Yeah.
if you jump on something else, when you open your own business, you have to show 2 years of history. And I feel like this opportunity not going to be waiting for me to launch. So I was pushing it as far as I could So then as soon as we closed the mortgage, I quit from this job and I got into the business that I was really wanted to get into.
We all
So
quit.
it
We
was
all
like-
started a new life.
It was stressful time.
And we rented the place that we bought. So that same day that he received the keys, he flew to Kitchener and received the keys and post everything on Kijiji. That is like for the States is like a
The Craigslist.
yeah. So no realtors, no nothing. He did everything in one day.
Flew quickly,
interview.
clean it, whatever had to be done. I had to check whatever issues there, write a loan report because there was quite a few issues going on that they had to be fixing. So everything kind of posted, open house, bunch of people came. I found the person that we said, okay, we're gonna go with that person. Let's do it.
Yeah, and we rented for 2 years, and as you see, for 1,250 a month.
So this was covering all our expenses, plus we're getting $50 back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, sorry, and then we decided to move there because we were with this business for a long time. Long time for us is 2 years.
Yeah. We stayed in Calgary 3 years. First year we were just staying at the jobs that we had to be doing to get our mortgage, and then 2 years I was working at what I wanted. She was already staying at home with our little girl. Everything was good, and then when I sold my business and we're like, okay,
We don't have to work.
yeah, and we don't have to stay here. So, and you know, it was kind of towards the winter time when we were moving, and kind of towards the end of the winter time. And at this point of time, we're already frustrated. It's minus
We don't
20.
like winters.
No, every winter is very tough for us. So we said, okay, we don't have to stay here. Where do we go? What do we do? And then we're like, hey, we have a condo in Kitchener. We can go there and then we see what we want to do in the future, and we will have time to think about it. Plus, we're going to be close to some of our friends. And yeah, they just had a new family, brand new baby. So we're like, let's go there. Why not?
We took the little things we had, we sold most of it. We took our car and drove to
Kitchener.
So then we lived there, and then when we moved, we said, we still don't like the weather anyway. So then, not long time after, we decided to sell this property.
Yeah, it's about 3-4 months after we moved.
This is so awesome that I want to live here. So that's what we did. We made it look super better than a show home.
Yeah, I wish we would live in there like this, but most of the time it did not look like that. And our daughter running and throwing stuff around. Like as soon as you clean it, looks like, oh my God, what happened here? What a chaos.
So was not, we didn't even live a year there.
Yeah, kind of 3-4 months into living there, we're like, okay, it's end of the winter. By the end of the winter, we're already all exhausted. We cannot take it anymore. So we're like, okay, we don't want to be next winter here.
Yeah.
What do we do? Where can we go that we can continue with our dreams, whatever we want to do, and live in a warm weather? And we decided on a beautiful Austin, Texas. Yeah. Half of the decision was kind of based that my sister already was living here, and then we're like, hey, let's move to Austin. We heard weather is nice.
Let's go explore, and we really wanted to know how people live in the States. And we are the kind of people that don't want to read about it, we want to experience it. So we
Much more fun.
we did all the process for the visa so we can stay here for longer time than 6 months. So everything, all this process, while we were saying, okay, maybe we should rent or maybe we should sell, let's sell it better because we can have some money. And then we got the visa. And that day, when we were driving home after the office,
I was calling my friend right away. My friend is a realtor. I was like, okay, buddy, I need a photographer and let's put this place for sale. So next day, the photographer was available, came, took the pictures. We already had the place nice and clean for him. And we put it on sale.
yeah, the price that we put it on sale was
$379,900.
yeah,
That's how much we put it for sale. Yeah.
We were thinking because we always check at the prices, so we knew how much the value of our home was at that moment. So for us was not a hard negotiation with the realtor, like the realtor tell you one price and you think that it's much more. We knew, and we always looking at the market. It's part of our hobby, but also it's part of our business because we love real estate investment, and we have to do our part of the work, that is being updated, look at the market, look at the possibilities, and make well-informed decisions, not with the heart, not with attachments, with a lot of logic, because this game of housing is a lot of logic, no heart, no, and a lot of instinct. But sometimes you confuse instinct with your heart, with the attachment. So you had to be very, very clear there, that you had
very
to be
neutral and kind of say, okay, that's the prices, that's kind of what the place look like. Our place look better or worse compared to them, so then you know, okay, so our price should be a little bit lower or a little bit higher. And not like I understand people that live 10, 20 years in the same place, they get emotionally attached, they leave all their stuff around, which is really can hurt you when you're trying to sell and make pictures. You need to hide your stuff, you need to hide your personality and give some room to the new people to imagine their personality there. Because if it's too much of you, they will be like, okay, it doesn't look like we have any space in
this.
That's
a very nice house for them, but not for me. So we took all the pictures out, everything, so they can open the door and say, oh, this feels like it's my new home. So that was one of the key things. And then after 4 days in the market, we got offers and we sold for
417,000.
Yes.
So we put it for 379. We were hoping for 390, and the market just was getting heated. It was kind of going towards the summer, and we were hoping, hey, 390 would be amazing, 400 we would love it. Anything above, it's like
it's a
bonus. And it was 417. Obviously, we were extremely happy. We were celebrating. It was an awesome news. We signed the offer. We were like, let's do it.
Yeah. And we were already preparing our thinking on moving to Texas, but the closing date was like in a month or a month and a half.
We had months and a half, yeah.
So we had enough time. And we were like, yeah, let's take it easy, because we always move like this and we always do like the decisions right away, and let's take it with peace and all the enjoyment. But before we continue with the story, we wanted to tell you that this price is not what comes to your pocket right away. You need to think that the price you are selling, you had to do a calculation, simple calculation, and deduct all the expenses, your down payment, and everything that was involved during this time you own the house. So it's not like the 400 came to our pocket. We need to pay back the mortgage, we need to pay the expenses, the closing cost and all the stuff.
Realtor.
So here is what we spend.
Yeah. So our buying cost, when at the time we were purchasing the property, it was the land transfer tax, there was lawyer fees, there were all these small things. It came for about $4,000. That again, this is money gone. We put it just part of doing business. Then during that the property was rented, we had to, some appliances broke down, the washer dryer, we had to change that, so we paid some money for that. When we moved in, we already had an idea that we're gonna be selling it soon. Plus, after people were living there for 2 years, we wanted painted because we bought it specifically white. So everything painted white. So then when we have, because we were planning to buy it and sell it at some point in the future. So, you know, on white walls, you can just put one coat of paint or whatever you want, make it nice. So we did that. We painted the house, the condo. So we overall spent $3,200, plus we bought a new fridge.
Yeah.
To make it look a little bit nicer. Our old fridge was like very basic
Didn't
standard.
fit there and was
It looks too small for the space. Look like lonely persons just standing there without any friends. So we bought a nice big fridge. Thanks. We bought a nice fridge with open 2 doors opening in the bottom, whatever. Again,
this
for
little-
very low price.
This little thing make a big difference. Like make big differences. The things that everything is there in a well done scenario. Kind of everything fit. We put some shelves. We put some things to decorate to make it look like, okay, this is a real house.
Yeah, it's some small things that we even didn't do for ourselves. We were like, okay, we're living here, that's fine for us. But then when time comes to sell, it's always a good idea to spend a little to get much more. Because people get caught up, hey, wow, new fridge. This fridge is working fine. But if it doesn't fit there, it gonna make a huge difference. Because if a person that come in and fall in love in the place, they will be willing to pay much more than just bunch of people coming in and saying, yeah, if this gonna be a good price, if they're gonna reduce couple thousand, I might take it.
Yeah.
Compared to a person that fall in love and he's like, I hope nobody gonna take it, but if somebody will be, I'm willing to pay a little bit more just to get the place. And that's the feeling we were going for, and that's what we got. Because again, we were planning for $390, $400 maximum. But and again, we didn't spend much. Painting,
Yeah.
new fridge, clean
Not too
it,
much.
put some shelves, maybe $200 for shelving and things like this. The fridge, we found the cheapest one, but the okay looking, the best looking that we could get for a price. We paid maybe $800.
Yeah.
And it was looking awesome. It fit exactly. It was new. Everything looked nice. And we nailed it.
And you had to consider also that you had to pay closing cost every
Yes.
time you sell. So with the closing, we hire a realtor. When we bought, we didn't hire a realtor. We went right to the.
Yeah, because when you buy in a new place,
You
there's
don't have to.
the realtor is sitting right there.
Yeah. So here, that's why it looks higher price, because we had to pay a realtor, we had to pay lawyers and all these papers and printing. They add printing cost, fax cost, all this stuff. The old fashioned.
We're 2020. Come on, just send it by email. But hey, that's how business goes. So yeah, so overall we had to spend another $12,500 on the closing, which is fine. Again, that's part of doing business.
And as a reminder, we rented for 22 months. So that was paying our mortgage, a little bit of our mortgage for this almost 2 years that people were paying for our mortgage. So
Yeah, so by they paying it, we kind of, they paying your mortgage, so it's overall coming to your pocket, which is great. That's why we are that's the whole process of a property rental.
Yeah.
Somebody paying you, they paying the mortgage, the value going up. It's a win-win situation if it was a well thought out decision, because sometimes it can go a little bit sideways or in the other way. So
And-
overall, we kind of got another 8,000 something from the.
And as you know already, we made a good profit. We invested, our first investment was $45,000.
Which was the 20% down payment that we had to put.
And then after all our expenses, after paying back the mortgage, we got for our pocket, ta-da!
$180,660. Woo!
We
That
were-
was awesome to receive the check.
We were very happy, and to let you know, not all the time you will get this profit. Some properties are super good depending on how the market is going around, if the city is developing. There are a lot of factors around. It's not just how your house look or how pretty you made it or how many renovations. It's not about that. It's more about the surrounding, the school system, the universities, the economy of the city, of the province or state. There are a lot of things that are involved in the value of your home. We have other situations that we haven't been very successful, and we will tell you those stories too. But in this case was a very good investment. We saw the potential from the beginning. We saw how the city will develop in the future, and we decided to sell it.
Yeah, so at the point again when we were buying, the overall it was the growth rate of the properties was 3 to 7% a year, and again which we would be more than happy with. But that it's doubled in price, that was also a pretty awesome surprise for us. But in any way we knew that this is going to be a profitable property to buy.
And you know, we had this plan for 1.5 months, and we were like, yeah, we will have time to move and enjoy. But the coronavirus came and the pandemic, and we say, why we sold this place. You might be considering why. You might be wondering, if it was such a good investment, why you didn't rent it instead of selling it. So this is the whole point, the whole plan that we have for our life, to come to Texas and start a new life. So we needed some cash to start our new projects, and both of us were already not working for a long time because
For a while, yeah.
we decided not to follow the regular work, and we are exploring new adventures. So for us, for our dreams, selling this property at this point was the best decision instead of renting it. If we will decide to rent it, will be a very good cash flow, very good money coming in every month. But for our situation, for our plans, we wanted to have the money available for new adventures. And the situation came, so we had to run away.
It's like after we sold the place, we had months and a half to kind of, take it easy, put our stuff together and move. But this is when all this virus started developing pretty fast. It was happening like from one day to other day. So we're like, okay, we need to start selling stuff. We need to start packing stuff. So we sold again our furniture. We rented a small trailer from U-Haul. We shoved everything there. So from months and a half of getting ready, we kind of packed it in 4 days. We had bunch of papers to do. We had bunch of things to do. We obviously still did not receive any money from the property because you only receive it at the closing date. So everything was just chaos. We quickly packed, we started driving, we got out of Canada, we crossed the border, and the day after we crossed the border at 9 in the evening, and we stopped in the hotel after that, went to bed, and next day we hear in the news that they closed the border, so you cannot cross from Canada to the States. So everything happened like pretty much at the last moment. If we would keep taking our time a little bit more, we would be still in Canada, probably not as happy, because we were really passionate about move, and we just want to take ourselves and move.
And then you had to change all the plans and rent, and you don't
Yeah.
know for how long, and at the end all the money you're making, then it will just go on rent and things that you don't know. So there are things that you cannot control, but sometimes you have to make very quick decisions and say, okay, this is what is happening around. We do it now or we don't do it. So we did it.
We decided to do it.
We moved here. We are super happy in Austin. And this is our story with our property. We are very happy. We had to do all the paperwork through Zoom calls and all the stuff that is new.
With our lawyer, yeah, whatever stuff.
Very new, and we still didn't do some things in our personal paperwork and stuff because we just made the decision super quick to move. Definitely this move got a little bit more challenging because of the situation. We came here, we couldn't even see the place to rent it, and
everything we did through the phone, through the internet. We never saw the apartment, just only from pictures, and signed all the documents through like email. Never had the chance to see the surrounding. We just kind of had to do what we gotta do, but overall we're very happy with the place we're here. We have in our complex, it's a nice area where you can walk, there's a gym, there's pool, everything we wanted. Enjoying the summer, we love it here. Our daughter, it's like she's in a magic land every day. So
she
we're
always say,
extremely happy
I feel
here.
like in vacation.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. If you wanna get something from this presentation, from this video, is to make decisions, to be willing to make decisions. Sometimes we get scared of making decisions. We get too comfortable and we don't know how to react to things. Life always will be changing. Life is always uncertain, and we as humans, we need to be ready to make decisions and to take control, if whatever control you can take in whatever aspect of your life. We know that things are uncertain. We know that markets can collapse. We know everything can change from one day to another. But you have to say, there is something I can control. I can control my emotions. I can control my decisions. I can control the way I look at money. I can control the way I use it. And if you want to get anything from this video, is like, things are possible. They will never be pretty and easy, because if not, everyone will be doing it.
That's for sure, yeah.
But for those that are willing to do the extra job, to be uncomfortable, to be challenging, to be learning and pushing yourself to do better, there are a lot of possibilities out there for everyone. This time was with this real estate. Next time might be with something else. And you had to be ready to jump in the opportunity and make the best out of it.
So start getting used to like what we kind of start feeling and saying. We getting comfortable to feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So start getting comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, because that's when you know that you change, you evolve, you learn. Because if you're all the time in your comfort zone, that means that you're not learning anything new. That means you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That means things not changing, because just after this move and through this move, we learned so many things. Learn about the stock market, we learn about the Bitcoin market. There's so many other things that we now want to be investing in and exploring. Plus, another reason why we did sell this property that we didn't mention, it's because we found another great investment, which is made sense for us to jump to a different investment. So this investment we found in May 2019, which was two months after we moved to Kitchener. So right beside us, they were building a brand new complex building. And at that point of time, our apartment was already, we knew that the market value is 350,000. And our apartment was 2 bedrooms, 2 washroom, 1,000 square feet. And the new complex, it was the build right beside us, they were selling apartments for 355,000, which was 3 bedrooms, 2.5 washrooms, 1,500 square feet. So we right away knew that this is no-brainer. This is a great deal because it's same value, same price, but how much more you get with the other place. And now, if you think was the right decision or wrong decision, because it was a day of a decision.
Yeah.
When I found out about it, the next day they opened the sales center. We were there. We got the place.
We had to line up to buy a
this
house.
is we're gonna be making a separate
Another
video
story.
that we're gonna tell about how this investment went. And again, this place gonna be built probably sometimes mid-end of next year, depend on how this crazy times gonna be unfolding, if people will be able to work on it or not. But just to see that we sold our 2 bedroom, 2 washroom for 417, you can imagine where is the other property stands right now, at what price. Again, it might get damaged a little bit because everything that's going on, but it will have to fall a lot in price to reach our buying price.
That's why it's so important to buy it with the right price, because then whatever happens after, if a crisis comes, you are not that scared if the value of the property goes down, because you know that you already got it for a very good price. So
yeah, another thing that we want you to kind of get from this video, that you have to be ready. You don't know what opportunity will come. If you're not ready for it, you'll not see it. It will pass right by you. If you are ready, you don't know what you're looking for, but you're getting ready. Your credit score have to be great. We never worry about our credit score because we know it's great. So every time we're purchasing something, we don't even think about it because we know this is in our pocket. Then, do we have down payment for it? Can we get creative to get down payment for it? Can we think about something? So we know that these things are covered. If you don't have these things covered, of course, the opportunity come knock on your door and you'll be like, sorry, we're closed, nobody at home.
yeah, sorry,
And that's
I
it.
don't have it. I'm not prepared. Can you come tomorrow? They
Yeah.
will not come tomorrow.
Yeah,
They will
so
not wait for you.
we never know what's next, but we always getting ready, we're getting prepared. So when we see it, we can jump on the train and it take us to good places.
Yeah. So get your credit score ready, get your money ready. If you are too in debt, start there. If you are not saving enough, start saving. And don't think about saving on the long term. Oh, I will save for my retirement. We are not that kind of people. We save for the next step. The next step for us is the next investment. And that's how we think. We don't think of like, oh, when we retire, we will
Live the
enjoy
life.
life.
When
No.
we both walk in, honey,
It's so beautiful.
where is my diaper?
Yeah, we are not the kind of people that will save for years without enjoying life. You can enjoy life now, but you have to start saving now, so then when the opportunity comes, you are ready. And the opportunity can come tomorrow or can come in a year. So you have to be there, ready with knowledge, with your money in order, with your credit score very good, and with the options. Know your options. Know where you can get the money from.
Yeah, and if you think, well, now the market might crash, I don't know what might happen, but you have to be ready. If the market will crash, you'll find a great opportunities there, because there are. If the properties price is gonna start going down, if you gonna start getting ready right now, by the time the property price is gonna fall and you're ready and you're gonna buy it at the lower price, well, guess what? You jump on the right train.
Yeah.
So you just have to be ready for it. So make sure you start getting ready.
And get excited, because things will happen and you will be ready for them. So thank you so much for being with us, for watching, and we will continue sharing our stories, the good and the bad, all our experiences.
Yeah, so we'll see you in the next video.
Bye bye.